Welcome back to another Macintosh video. So today I thought it'd be fun to go through this collection of old Mac magazines and catalogs that I have. Maybe find the oldest of a couple of them and just kind of page through them and see what fun history we can uncover. It seems like a good Macintosh video. Collection I actually got from a friend of mine. His uncle had been a big Mac aficionado in, I guess, the late 90s and had all these magazines, and he just had been saving them all these years and didn't know what to do with them, and actually saw them on Facebook Marketplace. He was just looking to rehome them, hoping to find someone that would actually be interested in having a bunch of old Mac magazines. That's me. So I got these cool magazine holders and put them on my shelf down here in my basement, and I kind of go through them every once in a while just to look at the things, but I thought I'd like to share that with everybody as well. So I'm not sure if you can read my labels or not on the video, but we've got MacAddict, Mac Home, miscellaneous Mac, just ones there was only one or two issues of, catalogs, MacWorld, MacWorld, MacAddict, MacAddict, and MacAddict. So I think maybe we got MacAddict up here too. I think I ran out of purple and I didn't do that one. So I'm going to go through these quick, and I'm going to find the oldest MacWorld, the oldest MacAddict, and maybe whatever catalog I can find as well. I think that would be fun to just kind of page through those. All right, so I found a MacAddict from November of 1997. Looking through the MacWorlds, most of the earliest ones I found were around 1998, but there was this one outlier from April of 1993. So that's a pretty old one, and there's a handwritten note in here with some info. We'll take a look at this. This looks pretty cool. And then for the catalogs, a lot of them don't really have dates on them. Some did, some didn't, but I found these two, which I think are probably the oldest because they have beige Macs on them. So there's a CDW Mac catalog from January of 98. This one did have a date. And a MacWAREHOUSE from whenever 200 megahertz power PCs were being blown out with the clones like the Star Macs and the UMacs. All right, well, let's go take a look at these. Some interesting stuff in here, hopefully. All right, so let's start with MacWorld from April of 1993. Cost of this magazine was $4, and in it they look to be talking about the Color Classic, Color PowerBook, LC3, Sentra 610, 650, and the Quadra 800. Faster than a Quadra 950. So let's just page through it a little bit here. And I don't know how the glare is going to work, but we'll try our best to make this a good video. All right, so right when you open it, there's a Microsoft ad for Microsoft Word 5.1 for the Mac. And then we get an ad for a $1,000 scanner, which can do 800 DPI and has integrated JPEG compression. Well, I think in the modern world, the last thing you want to do with the scanned image is compress it with JPEG. But I guess back in 1993, you wanted to save as much disk space as you could. Let me get to the contents, see what's on the cover. Those we talked about, and then there's a bunch of reviews of various software, Adobe Dimensions, Final Draft 2.0, Microphone Pro, Org Chart Express, Hellcats Over the Pacific flight simulation game, Superminds 1.0. Cool. Well, I think we're kind of just going to blaze through a lot of this stuff since I don't know how interesting this is going to be to anybody. I mean, to me, it's super interesting. All of the ads, I don't know if you can see it, but they all say circle a number on the reader service card. So for Disk Lock by 5th Generation Systems 135, for Canon, it's the projector there, circle 110. So if you wanted more info about these, MacWorld would be more than happy to send those to you. Now up to date. I remember now up to date being obnoxious itself. WordPerfect works for Macintosh. And here's the staff editor-in-chief at this time was Adrian Mello. Or somebody was trading Apple stock. It's like they bought it, shorted it, and it was between $50 and $70. Yeah, crazy times. AGFA slide scanners and flatbed scanners. The Bernoulli multi-disc. Sure were a lot of ads in MacWorld back in the day. Aldus. For Adobe bought them, I guess. So they're talking about Aldus Fetch. Database cataloging program. SoftArc Inc. They made First Class, so an ad for the First Class system. I know there's one of the guys in the Vintage Mac group on Facebook that's still running a First Class system to this day. So if you're interested in that, join that group and search for First Class. And I think he posts about it once a month. Computer Associates. I forget who they turned into. Micronet. There's a nice Quadra 950, I suspect, with a 040 disk array. I wonder if that means the 040 disk array has a 68040 processor in it. I don't know. All right, late breaking news. Apple showed an alpha version of its Newton PDA at the January Consumer Electronics Show. So this is pre-Newton. Apple had record revenues. Connectix upgraded Virtual, a utility that provides virtual memory support for Systems 6 and 7. Tape backup ad by Cybernetics, contemporary Cybernetics, as their award survey. And here's a State of the Mac by the editor. It's probably interesting to read. Maybe if I can get the glare out, can pause on that and see if you can read it. I don't know if it's going to work. It should be 1080p though. Digital film by Supermac. Letters to the editor. Well, here's an After Dark ad by Berkeley Systems. Everyone loves the flying toasters. And the cat, the fish. All right, let's just read one of these here. This is from Robert Hinkle, Salt Lake City, Utah. It's titled, Under Tough Competitors. I cannot quite convince myself that my next computer should be a Macintosh. In the December 92 issue, you compare a TravelMate 4000 notebook to the new PowerBooks, the 145, the 160, and the 180. It was very disheartening to see how poorly the newer, faster Apple products performed in testing. The inconvenience of learning enough DOS to load some programs and install Windows is negligible when it means saving hundreds of dollars buying a 486DX system rather than a Quadra 2CI or 2VX. Well, I would rather have a 2VX over a 486DX system. DX266, though, maybe we could talk. Epson ad. All right, let's just skip to the meat. There's just all ads here. So what page was that on? I noticed the first couple of pages are really shiny, nice pages for the ads. All right, so page 94 is the Color Classic. Let's just skip to that. So Apple adds color to its original compact Mac, but is it worth the money? No, probably it wasn't. The Mystic upgrade that people have been doing to these machines ever since sort of indicates that they were super underpowered and pretty unimpressive and maybe one of the worst compact Macs ever made. But they did have color. So they talk about here at the beginning, compact Mac fans can wave goodbye to black and white. The Color Classic is here. And besides its color display, the Color Classic has a processor direct slot and FPU slots, a built-in microphone, a logic board design that makes it easy to upgrade. I presume they meant like a G3 upgrade chip or a, not to actually just pull the whole board out and 3D print a new cover for it, like people have been doing. But then it goes on to say, but notice how close the Color Classic's prices are to the more flexible LC models before you get carried away with its cute design. And of course, they review the LC3 here later, so it's not the original LC or the LC2 that didn't get a lot of love. I'll skip to the end and see what their summary is of the Color Classic. Well, they have an inside view of it. That's pretty cool. And this whole board just pulls out. All right, so it says, if you're in the market for a Classic 2, forget it and buy a Color Classic. The difference in cost is about $300, but the LC2 or LC3 is ultimately a better buy. So MacWorld, not a fan of the Color Classic, and nor were a lot of people. They have a sort of a performance chart down here, looking at various tasks. Shorter bars are better, so that's less time. So yeah, the LC3 is really beating that poor Color Classic. And then they move on to review the LC3 here. When Apple introduced the original LC, the company was admitting that it needed a low-cost color computer in its lineup. That for many customers, the benefits of the Macintosh interface didn't justify the machine's premium price. Eating humble pie worked, the LC and LC2 became Apple's most popular Macs. The LC3 continues the tradition, offering good performance at lowest ever prices. So I definitely think the LC3 was really well received. People seem to quite like it. They've got a picture of the board here. And here's this note that I found in here. So there's just interesting stuff on there. Not super interesting, but what CPU stands for, SCSI, SIM, RAM. And then comparison of Macintosh models in here. So starting at the top, we've got Plus, Classic, Classic 2, Color Classic, LC2 and 3, 2SI, 2VX, 2CI, Centris 610, Centris 650. And it looks like they're sorted by the processor. So the top two are the 68,000. Then the 030s are all in the middle, and the 040s at the bottom, along with prices. Suggested price, I think that says. Oh, street price. It also includes the monitor, if it was included. So a Centris 610, CD-ROM port. Yeah, I think it's a CD-ROM port. Was $2,000. And 68032VX, I guess, was $3,200. Oh, if you upgraded from 4 to 5 megs of RAM, it went an extra $200. 4 SIM slots, internal disk drive was 80 megabytes, and the RAM was either 4 or 5 for $3,000 or $3,200. The disk and RAM not labeled for the two Centris machines, but it's a very interesting comparison. Looks like whenever this one made, the Classic 2 was $900. And the Color Classic was $1,300. So in the previous article, they said it was $300 more, but it looks like maybe it's $400 according to this particular documentation. Anyway, it's really cool to see this. I don't know if this was from my friend's uncle or from somebody else. But let's see what they say about the LC3. I think it's the same chart because they're comparing to the 2CI and the 2SI, and the 2CI down here, it looks like, is not too far off, and in fact better at it in math tasks, probably because of did the 2CI have a built-in FPU? I don't remember. Anyway, the overall summary here is, I hope that Apple is cranking up its manufacturing line with better speed, greater video and memory options, and the low price. The LC3 is an outstanding bargain. I think the LC3 was a very nice computer, and I'm happy to have one today. All right, and then we've got a Centris 610, 650. And there's measurements handwritten in pen around this one. I don't know what they all mean, probably inches. So the 650 came in the TVX or Performance 600 case, later 7100. And the 610 came in the pizza box case, later changed to house a 6100. So designed for the long term. The Centris 610 accepts boards that are 7 inches long. Apparently was a problem. Where's the summary on this one? Let's just get to the point. They don't really have a summary for this one. They do compare all the mid-range Macs here. Interesting. And then, of course, the Quadra 800. I say it beats the 950. Maybe I would have waited for the Quadra 840 AV if I knew it was coming. 800 was not a bad computer, though. It was in the same case as the 840 AV. And then they talk about the PowerBook 165C. It says it tips the scale at 7 pounds, but if you want to carry enough batteries to work throughout a transcontinental flight, the 165C will weigh 10 pounds. So apparently they were not terribly impressed with the battery life of the 165C. All right, so this magazine goes on. There's a lot more ads in here, ratings, but Fujitsu drives, Connor drives. I don't know if you want me to go through more of these. I'm more than happy to make more videos like this, but I think this one's already getting long, and we still have 3 more catalogs to go through, or 3 more magazines to go through. Fortunately, MacAddict here, not super thick. This one is from November 1997. So this is Secrets of the Mac Revealed, 10 best Easter eggs and how to find your own, an exclusive tour of Apple's top secret testing lab, and 20 Macintosh code names. Of course, now these days you can go to everymac.com and see all the code names for all of the computers that they had. Favorite one, I think, is the BHA. If you don't know what the BHA is, go out and look up and read the story about that one. It's funny and kind of sad. All right. So MacAddict. I got the editor's note again and some letters to the editor. Let's just read the first one here. It says, "But bald is in" is the title. "I found something interesting. Max has no hair. Not to make Max feel funny, but he could at least wear a wig. Your cute little Max would really look better with hair." I guess, I don't remember Max. Did you see the mascot of MacAddict? I think he must have been. Yeah, he's down here. "Don't worry, you can trust me." All right, so they wanted Max to have hair. "I'm writing this to you so you give him a wig or something, okay? A person who loves hair a lot. 10-year-old Justin LaSelva from Abington, Massachusetts." And there's a truck with the Power Mac license plate, Chevy S10. All right, let's jump right to the Easter eggs. I'm kind of curious to see that. So we got to find the table of contents, the index, whatever we call it. Oh, these came with discs, right? And these are all the games that were on it and various utilities. So I obviously don't have the discs for this stuff, but that's too bad. I'm sure all of these are available somewhere, though, at this point. There's an ad for Diablo for Power Mac. There it is. Role-playing game of the year. Oh, there, it was right at the beginning. Just totally spaced it. Reviews, ask us power play, shut down. Ha 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 ha. And other laughs. Oh, those are the monthly columns like Reader's Digest would always have. You know, humor, uniform, or whatever. Here we go. Page 60, Mac user RIP. After 12 years in print, Mac user merged into MacWorld, leaving behind a whole host of memories. So this is one Mac magazine reporting on the death of another. But let's go to page 38. Hidden secrets revealed. That sounds fun. All right, so this was by Nikki Eschler. So they talk about the labs here. So this is apparently the integration lab. I'll get that. There we go. The integration lab, one of Apple's most closely guarded secrets, plays host to at least one of every Macintosh and PowerBook model ever made, making it the closest thing to a Macintosh museum that exists. Although the lab is used mainly for testing software, and it must be continued on the next page. It says here, the caption, "The lab looks a little deserted now, but you have to wait in line for a turn at a machine during the weeks preceding a big OS release." Let's see if we can identify any of these machines here. It looks like a Quadra 900 or 950. Are those Apple Network servers, maybe? They look too skinny. So it's probably like Quadra 800 or something in that model, 840 AV. 9-inch Mac up here. I don't know. If you see anything you recognize, let me know. Then they have the reliability lab. It looks like they do continued testing of mice, and they have ovens. They see when the plastic melts. Here's a 20th anniversary Mac that looks like it's being tested for vibrations. They should have maybe tested it instead to see if it looked appealing to people. It may not have passed that test. Customer quality feedback. All right, Easter eggs, here we are. All right, top 10 Apple Easter eggs. Is it 10 or 20? Oh, it does say 10, okay. Oh. Number 1, the crayons. Location, macOS 8. Crack the shell. Step 1, open the crayon color picker in any application. For example, you can open the Appearance control panel, click on the color button, then from the Highlight Color pop-up menu, select Other, where you can then select the crayon color picker. Step 2, in the Date and Time control panel, move your clock ahead by several years using 2010 works. Well, I guess that's 15 years ago for us, so we're going back. Then it says go back to the crayon color picker and witness the effects of time. The egg. The crayons look worn down to nubs. Oh, so I guess we'd probably still have to set our clocks ahead. Egg Extra. If you open up macOS 8's color picker extension in ResEdit and check out STR number extra ID equals 3D-5749, you'll notice some strange names, including Yes, I Surf Ohio, I Don't Plan, Stray Advice, and Night Thigh Desire. Strange nicknames for strange people. Number 2, the mountains. I think a lot of Mac users knew about this one. We're going to the Finder's About box and holding down the Option key and selecting About this computer from the Apple menu. You get a 3D image of mountains and the credits. When you get to the end, there's a special thanks with a slight break in it. After that are the names of the list of the people on the Finder team who were laid off earlier this year. Oh, that's sad. Past life, follow the same steps in System 7.6 and you'll get the mountain range in black and white with credits that scroll along the bottom of the image. We've got the Iguana flag. Power Macs only, system software up to but excluding macOS 8. It says type the text secret about box into a document in simple text, select it, then drag it to the desktop in the Finder, and you'll get a full color picture of the Apple campus shadowed by a huge flag boasting a lizard and the words Iguana, Iguana, Power Sergius. The flag, which is whipping in the wind, will follow the direction of your mouse. If you're fast enough, you can rip the flag off the pole and watch it flutter to the ground. If you hold down the P key while dragging the words secret about box to the Finder, the same image pops up, but the flag sports the smiling Mac logo. It says if you're still working with System 7.5, try the same trick to trigger a lively breakout game that uses the names of engineers as blocks. Number 4, middle and nowhere. In the map control panel, type middle in the map and click find. The map takes you to the middle of nowhere. We were surprised to find out that it wasn't Delta, Ohio, as we had first suspected. So it says hold down the Option key and press find to scroll through all the locations in the map in alphabetical order. Good for hours of geographical amusement. The hidden meaning, locations in QuickTime. If you activate the balloon help and run your cursor over the QuickTime file in your extensions folder, it has a definition of the word time, which is kind of fun. The egg extra is when playing a QuickTime movie, hold down the Shift key and double-click inside the movie window to hear and see the movie play backwards. Number 6 is the sticky moose. So if you open up stickies, type in Antler and hit exclamation point, you get the Antler notes, and that's the company Apple bought to get stickies. The secret ROM image in any PCI-based desktop Power Mac. If you type secret ROM image into a draggable text document, such as a sticky, drag it to the desktop, and you'll get this big round picture of all the engineers who created the hardware and low-level drivers for PCI Power Macs. Last number 8 here is Who. System 7.6 Apple Guide. Use ResEdit to open Apple Guide, then open text. And click on Who, and you'll get a cryptic message pictured on the previous page. The message is, as the lighthouse keeper climbed the stairs, the keeper knew that future generations would benefit from today's work. It's very succinct. Number 9 is the Barking Pumpkin in Sound Manager. Again, a ResEdit chip, a ResEdit hack, I guess. Dig through your extensions folder in ResEdit until you find the Sound Manager, open it. Open the SND resource. Once you're there, select a Barking Pumpkin, and then choose Try Sound from the SND menu in ResEdit. The egg extra is the system sound Sosumi. A sound-alike for Sosumi was named that after an angry engineer was told he couldn't use his xylophone sound as an alert beep for fear of a potential lawsuit. And then number 10 is the Guava Surprise. In the Apple script editor, it says open the script editor and click on About Script Editor from the Apple menu, then hold down Control and click on the program's icon. Click on the credits button for more surprises. And you get Toy Surprise alternate credits, and the words the script editor are replaced by Guava Surprise, the code name for Apple Script 1.1. All right, pretty interesting. But we got a couple catalogs to look at. This is the CDW Mac catalog from January of 98. So they were selling a 233 PowerPC G3 desktop variant for just about $1,900. And they had the Power Macintosh G3 250 for $5,500. The CD drive. This is some really shiny paper on this one, so it's a little hard to see cover, but inside it's more of like a newsprint style. And then it's back to shiny. I guess it's just the ink they used. So you can lease an 8600 for $101. I presume that's per month. Or you can just outright buy an 8600 for either $2,500 or $2,900. If you got the one that was 250, it was cheaper. 300 megahertz was a bit more expensive. And they both included the iOmega zip drive. You could also buy a Workgroup Server 9650, and that would set you back at a minimum of $6,400. The Workgroup servers today are pretty rare, especially the 9650, and probably due to the price. I think a lot of companies, including companies I worked at the time that these things were shipping, were running Windows NT 4.0 servers, which had Apple Talk and Apple Share, so there was not really much point in spending all that much for a workgroup server when mostly we were just doing file sharing. There was some Mac-specific things you could do that you couldn't do with NT 4.0, but if you're just using file sharing, which is kind of the main thing anybody was doing those days, it was a little expensive. PowerBook 2400C, PowerBook 1400. I did a video on this one last week. 1400 was my favorite PowerBook. Lease them for $100 a month or buy them new for $27.96. And if you recall, there was the C model, which was color, and CS, which was color, but sucky because it used the Passive Matrix dual scan display. That's $600 cheaper, though, I suppose. And then the 2400C, the external floppy drive, right? I think that's what that was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. 3400 and the PowerBook G3. So you get a 3400 for $3,000 for the cheapest variant, or you get a G3 for $5,500. This was in $1998, of course, so it's inflation. That's quite a bit more. And then we get on to the accessories, monitors, printers. I think I saw somebody post a while ago in one of the Facebook groups. They had no idea Apple made printers all the way through laser writers. And Apple didn't really make them. I think they were all either all the laser printers were HPs that were rebadged, and all the inkjets were Canons that were rebadged. So like the style writers were Canons and the laser writers were HPs. I don't know if that's true for 100% of the products, but for majority of them, it definitely was true. And then just like some third-party stuff, less interesting memory, scanners, things like that. All right, and then I found MacWAREHOUSE, which is a little more thicker. I remember getting this one because I remember seeing this lady all the time. Anyway, so this is the apparently the clones. I don't know if they were just like trying to clear them out because at this point Apple had sold them. I don't see a date on this one. There's like some sticker stuck to it here, kind of covering things up, but I don't see a date anywhere. Let's just take a quick look through this one. Yeah, so that's the front page. Motorola Star Max, 5500, 5000. And then the Apple G3 systems. So the G3 Mini Tower, the G3 Desktop. You can get the mini tower, what was it, $2,000 for the base model, running at $266. The PowerBooks, still selling the 1400 here. It's $2,000. And that's the CS133, so that was the crappy screen, but middle of the road in terms of power. You could get the Active Matrix with the 166. The top tier one was only $3,000 at this point, so prices, I guess, had come down a little bit, and performance had gone up a little bit. But yeah, and then we get on to the rest of the stuff. The new G3 PowerBook, PowerMac 7300 blowout, $1,500. I've got a 7300. I think I got a couple of them actually. The power button's kind of behind the keyboard here, and every power button has suffered from the brittle plastic problem and needs to be replaced with a 3D printed model. 8600, 9600, zip drives. I remember when I got my first zip drive, I think I spent $100 on it. I remember I was waiting for them to come down in price because I was just, a kid and only had an allowance. So I never had a zip drive Plus until I got much older. But the Plus worked on both Macs and PCs. So the UMac SuperMac clones here. The J700, C500. I think we missed a page. What were these? Oh, no, we saw this one. Jazz drives. Never had a Jazz drive. PowerMac 6500s. These were the ones that had the built-in subwoofer. They sounded really nice, but I don't think Apple sold a lot of them. They're kind of rare these days, though I do have one. I've got the Performa variant. They also released the home version. And, of course, power computing. And that's what Apple ended up buying to end the third-party licensing agreement. And yeah, I've got a couple of power computing machines as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for this week's video. So, bit of a different video. I had fun making it. Hope you had fun watching it. If not, let me know in the comments, and I'll never make another one. But if you did like it, like I said, I'm more than happy to do this. I've got all those magazines, all those catalogs, and it's just kind of fun to walk through the past. Anyway, thanks for watching. Happy Marcintosh, and we will see you next week in the next video.
Hi guys! Make sure to like and subscribe, and watch more of our videos later. Bye!